Hey, what's good, people? How y'all doing? We the people. What's up? What's good? Oh, I see you got some comments in there already. You got people here already. Look at that. Yo, yeah. IDK Richmond Flowers was good. Was good. Was good. Hi, Mo. April. April. Yeah, we know April. We all know April Harmony. What's up, April? Ash Kiro Moxie. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, Ash Kiro. You're always here. You're always here to support. I appreciate your support. Yeah, we got a special guest. I mean, we got a every guest is special, but we have this guy. I met him on the comedy scene. As y'all know already, I done stand-up comedy in LA. So y'all know me for these remixes, but I also do stand-up comedy. I don't do it as much, but I still kind of do stand-up comedy. But I met a lot of people on my journey in stand-up, and one of these guys is Willie Macc. Now, a lot of y'all, some of y'all may know him from College Hill on BET. I'm looking at some of the highlights right now, but he was on College Hill back in the day, and he used that his exposure on College Hill and leveraged that and started branching into other things. He's been on many commercials. He's been on a lot of commercials, and he invests his money that he makes on commercials and in TV shows, and he uses that to flip houses. So he's a hustler, man. This dude's always finding a way to make money. And yeah, I met him at an open mic, and he has that afro. I don't know if he has. I think I met him when he had the afro. So I haven't seen him in a minute, but let's see how his hairstyle looks now. I wanted to start early so I could get this sound right on the find out if y'all can hear the sound correctly. Cause we've been having sound issues, and I see I got a light, and you can see it in my reflection. You can see the light in my glasses. So I was trying to work on my lighting so it could look better. Because other people, when I do interviews, their video looks so good. It's like HD, and my stuff looks like it's standard definition. So I'm trying to improve it. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, that's why I was supposed to use my other camera. I forgot. For the next one, I'll do that. But I want to give y'all an introduction to Willie Mack's work and what y'all may have seen him on. Do the screen share. Share the screen. So he was on this show here.
Truth in there is definitely one of those experiences that everybody has to do. You have to take a shot. So y'all down with that? If you don't take the shot, then you have to get into a bucket naked. Get my lovely lady friend right here.
So that's what he was on College Hill, and he uses the money that he makes and he invests in flipping houses. And I'll let him explain it to y'all. But yeah, I met him on the comedy scene, man. He's a funny guy. He's always hustling. He's always working. It doesn't matter what happens. If he ain't getting work here, he's gonna find another way to make work, to get work, and he's gonna make it happen, man. And I see him. He's in there. He's queued up. Let me take this off here and let me bring him in. All right. All right. I'm about to bring you in, Willie. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Making it happen out here.
Making it happen. Long time no see, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, man. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I'm still out here in these old crazy comedy streets and flying back and forth to St. Louis. And it's funny because every time I get like a surplus of black people that hit me up on Instagram, I'm like, College Hill must have played somewhere, or there's an article out. So like last week, I got like 200 extra followers, and most of them were black, but it was because Shade Room like did some cover on us, Crystal and Vanessa, and it was just like, and I was like,
wow. You're like, I'll take that in. I'll take that in.
I'll take that. And so now it's crazy to know that now that HGTV is happening, now it's gonna be just like this influx of non-black people that's just hitting me up, just like, yeah. So when I see that, I'm like, oh, HGTV must be happening.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'll let you talk about that experience, man. But let's get into your history here. I'm looking at your IMDb, man. You got a huge resume. And
Nah.
people may have seen you on a lot of commercials, man. You're on damn near every commercial out there.
Yeah, I got into commercials mainly to make my ex-girlfriend jealous, truthfully, because let's say I book a TV series or
Yeah.
a book a TV show. You can avoid a TV show, you can avoid a TV series. You can't avoid a commercial. A commercial just comes on, pops up. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get really good at commercials. So I just pop up every channel that you can watch.
It'd be a McDonald's commercial. Like, man, I'm thinking about this burger. There goes, she's probably like, this goes my ex-boyfriend right there.
Yeah.
Here's an automobile commercial. Here he's at again. Yeah, man. So that's one of your inspirations. What any other inspiration to get into doing commercials and comedy?
Well, I'm really partially joking about doing it just as an inspiration, but no, commercial just happened to be one of those things I was really good at. I just understood how to book. I understood how to change a little bit of who I am enough to book commercials. One of the things that I was told, and it almost sounds like a little racist, but I did a commercial class maybe like 12 years, 10, 12, about 10 years ago. Let's say 10 years ago. And the casting, it was a casting director, and he said, Willie, if you really want to book, you're going to have to take some of the bass out your voice. You're gonna have to talk a little bit faster, and you're gonna have to, like, he said, maybe try putting glasses on or something like that. And I was like, and I made a joke in class, not a great joke, but it was like, oh, so you telling me I need to whiten myself up, huh? He was like, yeah, that's exactly what you're gonna have to do. And I was like, what? And he was like, because when you think of a lot of these ad execs, or you think about a lot of these people, he's like, everybody behind the scenes are white. So when they're writing these scripts or they're writing these like commercials, they're doing it in their voice and in their head. And they're putting a black person in these categories just for like diversity reasons. It's like, all right, we wrote this commercial. It's like, all right, we need a black guy to do this, versus writing it with a black voice in mind. So once that was explained to me, I was like, I got it. So I played into it, and the commercials started to pile on.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you do gotta you gotta know what game you're getting into. You gotta know how to play that game, get what you can out that game, and using that to improve yourself and your community. And I see you've done that, man. You knew how to play the game. You got money out the game, and you're investing that into your hometown of St. Louis.
Yeah, right.
So how do you get into that? Is it flipping
So
houses?
Maybe like I've been flipping homes most of my life. Not most of my life. Let me take that back. My dad has been flipping homes and all this other stuff. So it got to a point where I was out of it. I was tired of it. I didn't like it because he had us doing it as a kid. Like I was 10 years old working in the homes with my dad. I come out here, started getting into the entertainment industry. And one day my little brother, who I'm on the show with, John, he was like, Willie, what are you doing with the money that you've made in like commercials and entertainment and all of this? I was like, oh man, I got it stacked up in the bank. He's like, that's so stupid. And I said, what? He's like, so you just gonna let the banks make money off your money? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, all right, so what you thinking? He's like, bring that money back home to St. Louis and let's start investing in the community and in the areas where we kind of grew up in. And so that led to just buying more properties that end up leading us to getting bigger and buying our first commercial property. Like we just bought a commercial space. Well, didn't just buy. We've had it for maybe like 8 months now. And we're building a coffee shop, and we're going to have an event center and all these other things. So that's kind of how it got started.
Yeah, because that's smart. See, a lot of people, they'll make all that money. You kind of get into it when you first start making money. You start buying all these clothes or cars. then you got to get smart. So you did the smart thing. You invested property. So now you got money coming into you from other avenues, and you can use that money to buy your clothes, buy this nice car and stuff. So that's the better way of doing it. Instead of using that money that you got paid from that gig, use the money that you invest into a property or other investments. Let that money come in, then use that money.
Now,
so yeah,
I will admit to people that it was the second time around that I got money that I started becoming smart. The first time around, I was that dude, the chains, the shoes. I probably got like 150 pair of shoes, man. That's how I was doing all this. And then acting work dried up. This was like maybe 2015, 16, like whatever year it was. Acting work dried up, and I was just in my head like, oh man, I could have an extra so many thousands of dollars if I didn't do all of this. And I bought a second car and all this other stuff. And then it hit me when I end up losing my place. I end up losing my car, and I started couch surfing. And so I was like, man, can I stay here? Well, they're like, Willie, weren't you doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I lost it all. So the next time I booked a couple series of commercials that kind of got me back on my feet, and I was already in the mentality like, how do I not get in this predicament again? And that's when my brother hit me up like, hey, what you doing with this money now? I'm like, oh, he's like, bring it here, let's do this, blah blah blah. And that's kind of how it went. I don't want people to think like, oh, Willie's always been like, nah, I went through it.
Yeah, it's about like when you make those mistakes, is all about learning. Like, are you willing to learn and fix those mistakes? So some people just like, no, I'm gonna keep wild now until I don't got shit left. And they just know how to My little when I started working at McDonald's, my first job, they actually I was kind of blowing my little check. I had like a little $150 check. I was blowing my little money. So I know how it is. Then I made the smart investment and bought a car, so I can get to work now. Now I don't have to, take the bus and stuff like that.
What was your first car?
Mitsubishi Galant.
What year was it?
I think it was.
My first car was 88.
1998 or something like that.
1998. Oh, you had a good one then.
Yeah, that was in 2002 when I had that car.
Oh, I had a 1988 Mazda 323, and I used to be mad because I was like, my cassette player never worked. I was like jamming it in.
Man.
But then I just to find out that it was an 8-track player this entire time. Like, I didn't know what an 8-track player was. I didn't even know they put that in cars. So it wasn't even a cassette player in my car.
So I was doing pretty damn good. I had a CD player. I was like, at least I could play CDs. Hey, look, there was a time my older brother, he had this I forgot what car it was. Ultimate Legend or something like that, right? So I asked him, can I borrow this car to take this girl out? Man, I didn't know that. It looked great on the outside, but I didn't know you had to start it off with a screwdriver because the ignition thing was broke. And then I remember driving her right, and I took this turn, and the passenger door flew open.
Shut up.
Yeah, so I had to tape it closed, man. It looked so nice on the outside. It had rims on it and everything. I got to drive this car. I got to take this girl out. And my brother didn't tell me that until I picked the car up. He's like, hey, here's the screwdriver. You got to start off like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think we've all kind of had that car. I know I do. I have, like, even now downstairs, it's my project car, but I have a 92 Camaro, and it's missing the passenger seat. So when people get in, they're like, where's your passenger seat? I'm like, oh, it come with one. They're like, it didn't come with a passenger seat. I'm like, it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there.
Yeah, you need those moments in life. It makes you appreciate the things that you do have when you start being successful. Because a lot of people, they start off with a lot, and then when they get a lot, they don't appreciate it.
Exactly.
All right. So let me show you this video that Willie Macc did of him flipping houses in St. Louis. I'm still trying to work on the sound with this, so hopefully you can hear the sound, but I'm gonna do a screen share. All right. Here we go.
One thing about working with your sister is that you don't always agree.
All right, you wanna stop it there? Yeah, but y'all get the idea. What's going on right there? Because on this page, I'm really big on economics. I'm really big on economics, and I feel like that's a smart thing to do to reinvest in your city.
Yeah.
You know, focus on your economics.
I want to be able to log in because I was gonna jump in the chat as well because I want, for those who might have had a hard time seeing it or whatever, if you just go on YouTube and type in, what is the name of this? It's called Property Macc. And yeah, I was gonna try to put it into the comment section, but I think I would have to refresh the page, and I didn't know if that would mess things up, so I decided, like, let me not do it. But if you look up Willie Macc and flipping homes or whatever, but yeah, so that's so that clip that you all saw right there is how we ended up getting the TV show. So maybe like 5-6 years ago, I was hearing about HGTV was looking for people of color who was flipping homes, and I heard it through my production company, and that I was working at the time, and I was an editor, and so I was like, "Oh, me and my brother flip homes," and they was like, "Yeah, right, Willie." And so I went home and filmed, and I shot and edited what you all saw right there, and so I showed it to them. They was like, "Man, Willie, don't nobody want to see this," so they pretty much turned me down. And then years later, another production company saw these videos. Like, we've been reached out to maybe like 3 different production companies off this video that's on YouTube. And then we collabed and put the show idea together and was able to pitch it to HGTV, and they thumbs it up. But the production company that I was working for has a history of turning down like hit series. Like, they turned down Pawn Stars. You know that show Pawn Stars? They turned it down. Like, they said nobody want to see people shop at pawn shops, and now like Pawn Stars is like worth like a $300 million like industry, and yeah. So.
And that shows you when there's a lot of times you got to do it yourself. You got to go out there and do it. You got to make it happen for yourself. You can't just sit and wait. Like, I ain't getting no commercial work. I'm not getting no anything, man. I'm just gonna sit here and soak in my misery. No, you got to go out there and make it happen. So y'all went out there, got the camera, used your experience as an editor, all the things that you learned, and you made it happen. And that's why that's why I try to preach on this channel, man. You got to get your skills up. You got to apply those skills. If there's something a goal that you're trying to accomplish, find out the skills that you have or learn a new skill.
And that's what I did. Like, I was so even at this production company, how I even got into. So I'm gonna give you all the short versions. There's a little bit of motivational topics in here as well. So when I was couch surfing, I knew how to edit because I used to come up with sketch ideas. You know how us comics always coming up with sketch ideas. And I was paying somebody like $300 to shoot and edit these sketches for me. And it would take forever. I'm like, it It was only supposed to be like a 3-minute sketch. Why is this taking almost a month? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna learn how to edit myself. So I learned first on iMovie, and then iMovie, I went past that and I started editing on Premiere Pro. So, and I got decent at it, and I started editing for friends who were comics and all this other stuff, and I started making a little bit of money. So this production company that was in Burbank, I was living in Bellflower at the time. So now to get to Bellflower to Burbank, I had to ride my bike because I didn't have a car. I had to ride my bike 2 miles to the train station, take the green line to the blue line, and wait for another train to ride my bike. It took like 3.5 hours each way. So yeah. I get there for the job interview, and they was like, yeah, we want you to, your editor, love your stuff. I was like, thank you. They was like, you know how to edit on Avid? I said, yes, I do. They was like, perfect. We want you to start next week. I was like, cool. Now, I've never touched Avid a day in my life. Didn't even hear of this word a day in my life. But I went straight to Kindle. I bought this Avid book on Avid, and then I started watching nothing but YouTube videos. And I even told them, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work for you all for free for 2 weeks so y'all can see this and see if this fits. And they were like, yeah, of course. And so while I was learning Avid, I was editing projects at the same time, and eventually got out of my little stump and everything started, flowing. But yeah, you have to learn how to do a lot of this stuff yourself, because we always get into a habit of trying to depend on people. When you ask them, like, why this didn't get done? Well, such and such was supposed to help me. Were they? Were they supposed to help you? Or was this supposed to be a moment for you to learn how to do this yourself? Or you get those people like, oh, I don't have time to do this. Now, I used to use that as an excuse too, but I know it's an excuse. It's one thing to say an excuse and think that this is true. But then there's another way of thinking if you give out an excuse and know that this is just an excuse. Like people are like, I don't have time. That's a big one that people say. I'm gonna give you the 3 big things that people say, and I'm gonna tell you how to kind of fix this. I don't have the money to, I don't have the money to do acting classes. I don't have the money to do flip a home. I don't have to, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Another one is I don't have time. If you have time to be on an Instagram or social media, if you're watching this right now, you can watch a 10-minute video on YouTube. You can watch a 15-minute video. It don't have to be hours at a time. You just learn a little bit each day, and eventually you'll figure it out. And that's what it was for me with real estate. When I found this out, I just started going like, there's all those like on Facebook and Instagram. You see those ones that be like, want to flip homes and make $1 million like us? Come on down for this 3-day thing or this weekend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there, they try to upsell you on some stuff. So I would go to all of those free ones and I would take notes. And then I would come home and I would go on YouTube and be like, what is an REI, da-da-da-da-da-da-da? How do you do this? Because you can learn everything on YouTube University, to be honest with you. And so if you use the shitter, then you can watch a video while you're there on whatever it is you need to do. So, yeah.
Exactly, man. Anything you want to learn, man, if you want to learn how to edit, yeah, because I do the remixes stuff, and that's how I got a lot of people to notice me, because I was doing remixes, and I just like how to do it. Look it up on YouTube. They all this information. You want to learn how to flip houses? You go on YouTube. Look at Willie Macc's videos. He got videos on that too. Like he'll give advice. All the resources are out there. It's all about applying action, and that's the most difficult part, because all the resources are out there. And let me see. I want to show you this some of your acting reel. You mind if I show that?
Yeah.
It's funny. Let me see.
I'm re-editing it now as we speak, because my agent was like, "You need to update your acting reel." I was like,
Yeah, this one's from 2019. This is the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find. I was going through them. Well, I've seen a couple. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I'm going to show y'all some things. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this thing out here. Oh, let me stop that. Okay. I'm like an old man trying to figure this out.
Funny.
All right. Yeah, this. Where's it at? Yeah, this is on Snowfall right here.
Yeah.
Damn, got it. Can you hear it, Willie?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's kind of choppy, but I can hear it. This is the first time Tiffany Haddish. That's Tiff right there. Me and Tiffany Haddish did this back in 2008.
Let me show a commercial here. This is a commercial you did as well right here.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite commercials that I've done. Hidden Valley Ranch. Ooh, old school Laugh Factory. My style has changed up so much since then because stand-up is one of those things that you can constantly reinvent yourself on. You think you figured it out, and then he's like, nah, you figured just a piece of it out. Like when I was doing that type of stuff, I had the structure of a joke. I wear glasses. Glasses make me look safe. If I take my glasses off, I look like this angry black guy. If I put them on, I look like I'm thinking about something. That's the joke. Would always move on from that. I get a laugh and then move on. So now I started adding in. Then I started adding in act outs. Whereas like I'll be like, see, now that I'm mad about something, like people don't even take me seriously. Watch this. I can't even be mad if I want to, and I'm like whatever. But then it got to a point where I was like, I had to sit down and ask myself, what would I want my fan base or the people who follow my stand-up to see or think when they see me? And I was like, who am I as a person? Now, this is the way that I try to market myself now as like a millennial version of Bernie Mac, because I talk about having the kid that I adopted and my son and all this other stuff. And I want to be a little bit more vocal, and I want people to understand a lot of the viewpoints of where I'm coming from, and let's just have fun doing it. Like now I'm like all on the ground and I'm acting things out, and I'm at the fun part of stand-up, and it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, man, stand-up is something else, man. Stand-up is it's a fun game. You really have control everything. Like you're doing a movie or even a comedy sketch. With stand-up, man, you can tell the entire story. There's a lot of people that don't know this, but I wonder if there's going to be a movie based on this one day or a documentary. I remember we run into each other at Marty before, like Marty's. Talk to him about Marty's and all the celebrities that show up at this hole-in-the-wall spot. You would never expect.
So Marty's was this spot that was on Sunset and Martell, and this Marty's been around for. Marty's was like one of those old school stumping grounds for people who are now like doing big things today. Like a lot of them got their beginnings at Marty's. Back in the day, he had 3 rooms. It was like an outdoor little patio that was probably like the size of like your stoop at home or whatever. And then you had the main stage, and then there was the back room. The back room was where all the magic happened. The back room was when you was waiting to go on the main stage to do a mic, but you would go into the back room and it'd be like maybe 5, 6 of us, and we really workshopped each other's jokes out. And what made Marty so dope, but they don't do anymore. Like I try to do this even today when I do like a mic or something, but and then people like, oh, I'm up here. This is my time or whatever, blah blah blah. Back at Marty's, we would just be like, hey, Mo, do that joke again, but maybe add XYZ. Like we was helping each other develop and grow in these, but they don't do that anymore, man. And it's the comedy scene, especially in the open mics. I don't do it as much, but it's like it's different. And anytime it'd be like Marlon Wayans would show up, Damon Wayans, and they just like, we just want to get some stage time. And because they was cool with some of these other people, they just came through. You never knew who would come through just to do some time, and it was amazing, man. I miss Mark.
Marty, man, there's going to be a documentary on that place. Like, if y'all guys were in, oh, let me put this up. Oh, Queen Regina, yeah, she put there's Willie Macc's information right there.
Hey, thanks,
Um,
Queen.
if you go to in LA, if you ever visit LA, right, and you go to a cafe like you're on Sunset Boulevard, you'll go to a random cafe where they serve coffee, and all of a sudden they'll start open mic, and you'll never know who will show up. Like all of a sudden, Marlon Wayans will show up. So he used to show up at this hole in the wall spot, and it was crazy. Like, oh, then Damian Wayans Jr. would show up. You would see random celebrities pop up in this random spot, man. It was crazy.
Those were the people that really also made you look at stand-up in a certain way, especially as younger comics and comics who are trying to be there one day, to see the love of stand-up versus like some comics, they do their thing, they maybe get a TV show or a movie and they're done. But then you have Marlon Wayans or Damon Wayans Jr. Not only are they still doing stand-up, but they have this itch to just go on stage that if they can't go on a stage right this second, I'm gonna go down to Marty's because I just need to get this out my head, because that's exciting to see. Like the love and the passion that you all have is what a lot of is like refreshing to see. It's like you never get tired of this. You could apparently, or you could just like you using stand-up to like launch off something else. But like even when people ask me, they're like, now Willie, that you gonna do this HGTV show and all this other stuff, like I was getting my agent asking me like, so what's your end game? I'm like, stand-up will always be number one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love it. I love telling stories. I don't know where I would be without it, because I would, like, even during the pandemic, I would lose. I don't know how people just sat at home and just did nothing. Like even I was talking to my parents about just like the normal life, like y'all's lives are so cookie cutter. My mom goes to work, she comes home, she watches the news, she goes to sleep, and they do it again. Like I personally can't do that. I respect everybody that can and all that other stuff. Great. Now I will say consistent income is very nice, but to have the freedom to just go up there and I'm dealing with these mental issues. Like I have depression. I'm on like Zoloft or whatever. And so to voice these opinions and these thoughts out, get them out of my head on a stage and just make you laugh at it. If I can make you laugh at some of the darker stuff that's happening in my head, then it's a release for me. So I'm up here for me and for you. So let's all just laugh together.
Yep. Exactly, man. You gotta take advantage of that time during the pandemic. You gotta, it gives you a chance to see how things could be in the future. Somebody could easily take certain things away, like they're just laying people off. So you got to develop, like when the pandemic happened, I started picking up Spanish on Duolingo. Yeah. So you just got to do something, man, improving yourself.
Exactly. Just something.
Exactly, man. Yeah, that was the experience, man. So how was it working with Tiffany Haddish on that sketch? On that Meet the Spartans sketch.
So
She's very quick.
Meet the Spartans was for those that don't know, it was a spoof off of 300 back when they was doing all those scary movies and like Scary Movie 2 with the Wayans. And so Meet the Spartans was a spoof off the 300. And me and Tiffany were in a scene where we were like, and then the 300 met their most ferocious people yet. And it was like the Yo Mama jokesters or whatever. And this was the time when Tiffany wasn't who Tiffany is now. And Tiffany is probably one of the coolest people that I've ever met. So after we did this movie, we started seeing each other more because Tiffany started, her rise was coming up. And at this time, I was on College Hill. So we would see each other at parties all the time, and we just became cool and all this other stuff. She's the one that taught me how to do what dance was that with Soulja Boy? Because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite stories that I have of Tiffany was, so we were shooting this movie, Meet the Spartans, and on the day we're flying back to LA on this particular day. And she was like, hey, let's go get some breakfast. So we went to this super fancy restaurant for breakfast. And I got French toast with all the fruit on it. And then I break out in hives, big hives all over my body. Apparently, I'm severely allergic to blueberries and did not know it until then. I never had a blueberry until I was on this movie to even know that I was allergic to blueberries. So she ended up getting the driver to take me to Walgreens and got Benadryl and like pretty much helped take care of me until we got on the plane and flew back here. But yeah, she's probably one of the dopest people I've ever met, man.
Yeah, I met her. She was very cool, man. She was a cool person. When I met her, I want to be honest. I didn't know who she was when I met her. I was just talking to her like a normal person. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't have a clue who a lot of people were when I went to LA. I was clueless on a lot of stuff. Like I used to just go to the comedy store and then I'll go to the improv. I didn't know that people did open mics in the cafes or places like Marty's. I went out there clueless on a lot of things, man. I met people who were moving up and they were getting famous, and I didn't know who they were. Who they
Mhm.
were. I just didn't know. I was like, let me
Yeah.
just go out here. So
Yeah,
somebody told me
That's the
later, like,
most
oh, it's Timmy Haddish. I'm like, oh,
That's the best place to be. I notice even with like some of the celebrity friends that I have is mainly because not even mainly, but it's like there's for example, there's a situation. I don't know who a lot of people are. I don't watch a lot of movies like that. I watch a lot of anime. I'm an anime head. Like I'm over here
yeah,
watching. I grew up Dragon Ball Z, I had Seven Deadly Sins. Like anime, we can do all day, but movies. So I'm at this casting director's party, birthday party, and I see this guy. He's just hanging out by himself. And I was there with my boy, and I told him, like, man, come over here. Why you by yourself? Come to find out, he's like this huge person. But I never knew for like at least a few years that he was who he was, because I never watched it. I mean, I knew he had money because he's like, hey, come to my house up in the hills. I'm like, man, oh, you must have old money or something. You must be a nice businessman. But the reason why people like that is because they don't feel that you're hanging out with them because they are this person. So they invite you more. They feel better hanging around you. So the fact that you didn't know who anybody was and you just like you built a natural friendship and connection with these people that you don't get to see a lot, especially in Hollywood, because in everywhere, even in wherever city state you all are from, you know, there's a plenty of fake people. So in Hollywood, people are even more fake because everybody in the back of their head is like, what can you do for me? Oh, the amount of people that were trying to give me headshots and give me their CDs. You think you could play the CD on College Hill? I'm like, it was only one season. I'm not going back on College Hill. That's not how it works. Or it's like you know, you hear about it in like stand up or whatever, where people, your family members that you never spoke to before are now hitting you up. So the people that I am closest to are the people that had no idea who I was. And I kind of had an interesting situation to kind of deal with this. Like I was dating a porn star for like 3 months and didn't know who she was. I mean, I had no idea. She was just a cool person. And I did notice that every time we went out, a lot of guys was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, And so one day me and her go out to eat. She is like, you never asked me what I did. I was like, does it matter? She's like, I don't know. She's like, but I want to let you know that I do porn. I was like, you do porn? She's like, yeah. I was like,
oh man, that's that right there, man. I'll blow my mind. And it was crazy because there was I think there's a porn star that used to do comedy at Marty's.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if we're thinking the same person, it was an older white lady, maybe.
yeah, I think her name was May
Something
Victoria.
like that. Yeah. I remember that.
I remember she was talking to me and I smelled her breath. I was like, oh shit. Like do you just get from the scene? I swear to God, man, it was I smelled it. She just like I was sitting on the couch like, hey, Maury, like, oh, what's up?
Oh, today was toss salad day, huh? That's what's up.
You just got from something, or no? She probably wasn't filming. Just I don't want to say that, but let me move away from that real quick. All right, so we about to wrap this up, but let me see what else I could talk about. Yeah, I do want to tell people a lot about business. Willie Macc is on his business. Willie Macc he's always going to hustle. He's always going to find a way. He's not just going to sit there. He's going to find a way. You take headshots, man. You do it all, man. You flipping houses, doing commercials, sketches, writing your sketches, editing. He's going to always look at some skill. He probably got probably into cryptocurrency. You never know with Willie Macc.
I'm into crypto right now. I was actually, because there was like a big spike up today, and I'm like, should I take it out? I'm kind of mad at cryptocurrencies. Just on that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I'm definitely into anything stocks. I'm big into investing, and even if I don't do great at it, because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm killing it. There's a lot of red days. I've lost a lot of money, but I put myself in the right mind space, in the right like frame of mind. Like, I know what is here, and I need to just focus on it more, or blah 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 blah, because it is important for us to know these things. We always miss. I feel like a lot of people in our community are missing out on these conversations. Like, the people, or not just missing out. Some people don't even want to have these conversations. Like, oh, I don't know nothing about it. I'm just gonna work my job and go home and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, start these conversations. And if you don't want to do it, if you have kids, if you have nieces and nephews, tell them about it. They got time, because that's who's making a lot of this money right now. Like, I'm looking at some of these 16-year-olds buying brand new Ferraris because they decided to put $100 on blah 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 blah, and then it turns into 300,000, 100,000, 50,000. It's like, they're like, I stay in a luxury apartment here downtown by the Staples Center, and the amount of teenagers that are here that's just making hundreds of thousands just either on TikTok or cryptocurrency is ridiculous. And it's like, why can't we do this? We can.
Yep.
We can.
Their parents are in that stuff already. Their parents are putting them on that stuff. And I did see that when I delivered to apartments when I was a delivery driver. Those luxury apartments, I be seeing like, there'd be like teenagers ordering groceries. Like, just put it on the counter over here. Like, like they living good out there, right?
Yeah. So I think it is important. Like you're saying, we just need to just put 10, 15 minutes towards something each day. If you don't have 10, 15 minutes because you're so busy, listen to an audio book or something while you're driving to your job. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And also, the biggest other thing that I want people to do is not rush. People will have this expectation like, all right, I did a month of this. Now, where's my money? It's like, it don't happen like that.
Yeah, long game. Yeah, definitely long game with the stock market. Because look, we see how Bitcoin is doing now, but hey, Bitcoin back in the day, it's been out for a while, and it took a while. Now it's really going up. I mean, I think it went down recently, but it went up big, and people made lots of money off of it.
Lots of money. Lots of.
And then you just got to get in those circles where those rich people are discussing this stuff before most people know about it. You know, those circles, they talk about stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So people, be on your business, man. Stay on your business. Willie Macc is on his business. Willie Macc is always working. Willie Macc, if the opportunities aren't coming to him, he's gonna make his own opportunities, man. I've seen it myself. I'm like, whoa, there goes Willie Macc, always working. All right.
Hey.
All right, so man, that's it, man. We're gonna wrap it up, man. It's been good talking to you, man.
Thank you.
I'm sure I'm gonna run into you again out here.
Oh yeah. And everybody that's watching, please follow the Instagram page for the show, because numbers matter, especially.
Let me put that in. What's it?
My Flipping Family HGTV. My Flipping Family HGTV on Instagram, and obviously mine is Willie Macc, WILLIEMACC.
So it's my Flipping Family HDTV.
Yeah.
Let me see if I got it right. I'm gonna post it right now.
All right, I'm about to watch. We appreciate it, because we know it's a numbers game, because the way that this episode works, the way that we are hoping to get this series and everything. So they're airing our first episode Tuesday the 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's super early, so I know some of y'all are like, well, I ain't even up. I'm at work. DVR it if you can, blah, blah. Because based on the numbers that we get, they are going to end up giving us more episodes and giving us our season that we are looking for. It's exciting to already have a show, to be able to have sold a show to HGTV. But it's another thing for me to actually, and us, not us as a family like my brother and them, but us as a community, to show them that we are watching. We are interested in these shows. Or if you're not interested, I'm interested. So do it for me, please. April, Queen, Takara A. Boss. I ain't scrolling fast enough. Please, thank you for the love.
I'm about to post Willie Macc's ID right here. I think I got it at Willie Macc. So there you go. That's his IG. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yep, that's me.
So follow Willie Macc on his IG and follow him on to keep up on the TV show.
Yeah.
You know, so when he blows up even bigger than he is, you go like, look, I seen him before he really blew up. You know, he's already doing big things, but then there's levels. You get even higher. So
exactly.
Yeah, so this follow him and support him, man. Support him, man. Support people, man. Support. So, man, it's good. I'll let you go, Willie. Man, it's good talking to you, man. I'm sure we'll come on again. Hopefully, I get an interview. When the series launches.
Yeah.
And this about speaking on other things as well, like business, flipping houses, to give people that inspiration.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm available. I will always make time for you, Mo. You know what it is. Marty's all day. Marty's fam.
Yeah. Yep, Marty's. All right, man. That's it, man. Let me get you out of here, man. Great speaking to you.
Have a good one, y'all. Take care, everyone. Oh, wait. Are you done? Because I see some people saying they want to do a Q&A. Do we have time to do a Q&A or no?
Oh, yeah. We can do a Q&A. Oh, okay.
If y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask me right now. I don't know how much time Mo has. I have at least the next 15 minutes. My next thing is at 4:00, so I got 15 minutes. If you have it too, Mo.
I got the time.
All right. So please ask me some questions if you're trying to figure out something about real estate. If you're trying to figure out something about entertainment industry, whatever it is. I know some of y'all are slow typers like this. Like my mom and my brother still type with like one finger. Like they are these people that drive me freaking nuts. And it took me a while to learn how to type. I used to hate typing, man. Like did you ever have to do like the typing class in school?
Yeah, I took it in middle school. Yeah, it was called computer class. Just computer class.
Back in computer class, I figured out this was before they had all these security systems and everything. I figured out how to go in and change my grades on in school. What was the best part of being on College Hill? I remember you were hella funny and really likable. I'm even funnier now and even more likable. How about that? But the best part about being on College Hill for me personally was it opened up my eyes to the entertainment industry. And when I say that, I grew up in St. Louis and I grew up a preacher's kid. I was super sheltered. My dad, I couldn't go to birthday parties. I couldn't go trick-or-treating. I couldn't do a lot of stuff. So I always had to be home. So when I came to California, and I didn't come out here to be in the entertainment industry. I came out to LA chasing a female. I was one of those guys where my girlfriend at the time wanted me to choose. She made me choose between her and College Hill, and obviously College Hill, blah, blah, blah. So it opened up my eyes to what I could do. And showing my funny side, because when you grow up in the Midwest, when you grow up a preacher's kid, I was always goofy. I was this class clown. But back in school in those times, it was called acting up. You're acting up in class. Why? Or your teacher told me that you was goofing off. Why? Or, so when you sit down, you must have ADD versus where even now, because I am who I am, and when I see my son doing the same thing, I'm like, all right, Malcolm, you might not want to do this in class. Let's figure out how to hone your goofy side and whatever. I did not have that. So to see that what was considered being a troublemaker or considered being like a bad kid, to see this is the way that I'm now making my money, to be the goofier I am, the more money I make, the more you act up, the more acting gigs you end up getting. So College Hill broke that for me, and it really made me really explore my side that I've been forced to keep inside all the time. So that's probably the best part about being on College Hill.
Yeah, because that can really bring out the best in you. Because sometimes people have that talent that in them, and they're afraid to. I guess they're too shy to let it out. So that right there, Willie Macc was unleashed.
Willie Macc Unleashed coming to HBO Max 2023.
So you said your name was inspired by Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Oh, so I did I was just a background extra too. For those that don't know what a background extra is, just the people that walk around in the background of TV shows and movies. They get paid really bad, like $54 a day for like 13 hours. They treat you awful. Now, I did background work on the Bernie Mac show. And this time, Bernie Mac was super sick. So one day of background work turned into like 5-6 days because he would only be on set for like 30 minutes or an hour. He didn't show up because he wasn't feeling well. And I remember one time I was on set waiting, and I used to have this really big fro. I think y'all kind of saw it in one of those clips. Kalita Smith, who played Bernie Mac's wife in the show, comes up to me. She's like, "Where are you from? Because you don't look like you're from here. You got this big old afro. Nobody in LA is wearing big afros." I was like, "Oh, I'm from St. Louis." She's like, "Really? My assistant's from St. Louis." Found out that her assistant and me went to the same high school, different years or whatever, because she was older. And we was chopping it up. And as soon as that happened, Bernie Mac walks in the room and he's like, "Who's this melted milk dud y'all talking to?" Talking about me. And so he was talking to me over the next few days, and he was one of the coolest people that I ever met. For Bernie Mac on the Bernie Mac show to talk to me an extra and was like super cool. Then I found out he was like, "What's your name?" William McMiller. He's like, "You can change that." And so when I found out that his real name was Bernard McCullen or something, I can't really pronounce. Bernard McCullen I think it was his real name. He's like, "Nobody wants that," so I changed it to Bernie Mac. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna change mine to Willie Mac. I'm gonna add an extra C." So that is how my name was inspired by, and just my biggest motivator was Bernie Mac.
Yeah, and it goes together. Willie Mac just.
And it flows way better. Like coming to the stage, William McMiller, like, but coming to the stage, Willie Mac. It's like, All right.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Did you eventually understand your Caribbean? That's so funny. I could only understand them if they talked slower, because it was funny because me had this conversation. I was like, "Man, y'all got some interesting accents." They're like, "We're not the ones with accents. You're the one with accents." And I was like, "We say our words correctly. Like y'all skipping letters and all this other stuff." And it took me forever to understand them. And eventually I got there. And I still can't understand reggae music. Like there's some reggae music. I love reggae, but I can't really understand it. But I know it's a vibe and it's a feeling, so I kind of just go with that. But it did take a while for me to finally understand just a little bit of what they were saying.
All right, put your IG right there. My flipping house, my flipping family, right there. Yeah, you were talking about Kalita Smith. I seen her at Marty's.
No way.
She did a set at Marty's. She was shorter than I thought. I didn't know she was that short. But she was there. I was like, "Oh, that's Kalita Smith." Like, wow.
Oh, you know what's funny even thinking about that? So there was a time, and I don't think this stuff really happened until this happened. So obviously I was on the Bernie Mac thing happened before I was even on College Hill or any of this stuff. And so I'm now on College Hill. And what is her name? The one that played the daughter, the one that played the oldest daughter. I can't think. Camille
Winbush.
She played Nessie. Our publicist at the time was trying to hook us up because they was like, she's looking for she should be on the red carpet with somebody, and Willie should be on the red carpet with somebody. And I was like, how full circle is this for me to go from being an extra on her show to potentially being hooked up with her by our publicist, dating together? I was like, that's hilarious. It never ended up happening or anything, but
they're trying to make stuff like that happen. Yeah. Well, we got question right there.
Silly question. Do you have any thoughts on them? Why is that a silly question? It's not a silly question. That's just really a yes or no. So I watched Selling Sunset. I have not seen Selling Tampa, but I will put it on my queue just because I believe it's like all black people, so I want to give them the numbers. But I watch it just because I like looking at the homes, and I like when I'm watching Selling Sunset, because I am out here. I like looking at these homes, and I start dreaming. I'm like, yeah, one day I'm gonna own one of these properties here in the hills, because that's my ideal place to live. I want to live in the hills. A lot of people don't want to live in the hills. They like mudslides and earthquakes. I'm like, we've been having them, and people still living up there for some reason. So yeah, I that's my 2 cents on those shows right there.
We got another question here.
How do you both navigate the politics of Hollywood? Oh my goodness. Whoo! So the way that I've been navigating the politics in Hollywood, and it sucks, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't like that I'm telling you all this, but you have to be a little kiss assy at first. You have to kind of brown nose a little bit to open up the doors, and then you change up. Like if you follow Dave Chappelle over his career, Dave Chappelle wasn't always the Dave Chappelle that you see now. Once upon a time, Dave Chappelle was this super goofy dude with like the big hat, and hey guys, I saw a homeless person jacking off on a bus. Like he would tell those jokes, and that ended up getting him like, the Chappelle Show, and he was still he was a little bit more woke, and now he's like fully. So you have to kind of infiltrate the system a little bit. And one of the things that I was told by an agent over at CAA, if y'all don't know CAA is like one of the biggest agencies out. And the person was telling me this was in the comedy division. And he said to me, Willie, here's my problem with black comedians. He probably didn't say problem, but he said, here's my thing with black comedians. He's like, there's a lot of funny black comedians. He's like, and he went through the name of all these funny black comedians. He's like, but the problem is a lot of them aren't filling out theaters. Like it's hard to pitch them to this theater or this place, because most of the people that are buying tickets, unless you're there and I'm taking out a lot of I'm not including like the Mike Epps and the Cat Williams and all these people, but there's like a lot of white people are the ones that's buying these tickets at a lot of these theaters and a lot of these comedy clubs. When you see them filling up the Improv at any of these improvs around the world or the US, there's a lot of white people in it, unless it's like here, unless you're specifically here to see Mike Epps or you specifically here to see XYZ. And so they was like, here's the best way it was explained to me. They said, black people will make you famous, Willie, but white people will make you rich. And it was something that he said, gritting his teeth, like, I don't like that it's like this. Until it changes, this is what it is. So if you can figure out how to cross over just a little bit, water down your act until you like, kind of hook and sinker. I don't want to say it like that, like you just out here with a motive, but it is a lot of politics. So you have to take a couple like smacks to the chin. Like you hear somebody say something, you're like, oh, I'm about to tell you all. Like you want to do that in the back of your head. Like, here's what I feel. This is what I think, blah, 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 blah. But now you'll probably never do an XYZ comedy club again, because now that word is going out. So it's like, you got to hold on to a lot of the stuff that you want to say. You're like, oh, wait till I get on TV and I can settle in and I'm gonna come out blah 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 blah. But it's politics, and you have to play the game to win. So it's a little bit of that, unless you or you can be one of those people, and nothing's wrong with it, that you create your own way, and then you kind of like you put your, I think it was your heels into the dirt or whatever, your boots into the dirt, and you kind of have to go that way. Like it's kind of like the music industry. How you got some people who are independent artists, it might take longer, but you have more freedom. Or you got the people who are signed. Now with being signed, you have more. You're now universal. You're getting all the radio plays right away, and you might be getting screwed out of some money. But this is that way. And the other thing is, the last thing I want to say about the politics is that I had to deal with that. Like I had to deal with that with production companies, where I'm signing these contracts. And I'm like, I'm getting screwed. Like my lawyers, I'm in 4-month contracts, and the lawyer's like, Willie, here's how to understand this. The first year you're going to get screwed. He said the second year you get even, and by the third season, you can start screwing them. So that's something to also kind of play in mind. Get in that door, this is just one route. This is the route that I'm doing. I'm not saying this is for everybody. Some people like, Willie, yeah, whatever. This is the route that I'm taking because I know what I can do with the power that I'm going to be able to get one day. And I'm excited about it because I got some stuff planned out, man. It's really gonna be dope for a lot of us.
Yeah, we the people, and with like speaking like Dave Chappelle, most of Dave Chappelle's audience at the beginning was white people. Most of his fan base was white people. Then later on, more black people started messing with Dave Chappelle because he wasn't that guy back in the day.
Yeah, that's facts.
Let me see. Yeah, somebody said that's true. When Chris Tucker did a show here in London, it was full of YouTube people.
White people.
Oh, white. Oh, see. I said YouTube. I thought that meant YouTube. My bad. Yeah, there's a game to it. Yeah, diplomatic approach. Yeah, you got to know how to maneuver within the game. You know, within the system. You know, don't sell your soul or nothing, but just know how to maneuver. Then once you get that power, and then you can really help people out in a certain way, man. What else? What's some other questions? Yeah, Willie Macc right there.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yeah. Let me know if anybody got any more questions. Maybe one or two more. Then I'm gonna let Willie Macc out of here.
Ask me whatever you want to ask me. I'm fairly an open book, so.
And that's a good thing about like being an entertainment or just being a comedian or anything like that. It's not like being an athlete. Yeah, you got to make it when you're young as an athlete. You know, if you're a comedian or a writer or somebody who's doing movies, you could be like your 50s, 60s. It could still take off.
Yeah, it took Bernie Mac a while. Like when he was on Kings of Comedy, like he was. When I was looking at the behind the scenes stuff, it was like D.L. Hughley had a show, Steve Harvey had his show. Who was the other person on the Kings of Comedy? Why can't think
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, Cedric. He was on the Steve Harvey show, and Bernie Mac at the time didn't have one. And they was like, he was probably one of the funniest people that, like, they had a whole documentary on Bernie Mac and said they was all saying that. But yeah, it takes time, and it's okay, especially as a comedian, because even as you get older, you just getting more stories as you getting older. And that's what else is exciting about even doing this for a while now. Like I don't know how long you've been doing it. I've been doing this since 2009. I think 2008, 2009 when I started doing stand up.
Same time, 2007 for me.
Okay. Yeah, this was when we was doing Bliss Cafe, Sunset Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those, yeah, that's when people told me about that. Like, you just don't go to the Comedy Store and the Improv. You got to go to all these other places. I'm like, you before me? I'm like, in a lot.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, what? I'm like, okay, hey, and I understood it after that. Yeah, so it was this eye-opening experience, you know, being out there. Yeah, I met a lot of people, man. You never know what can happen.
Never know what's going to happen. I see Queen says, final question. All right. Final question.
Any final questions? Let me know. Y'all got one more question. We can get that in there. April asked the question. What question? Let me see. Oh, you missed mine. Where's yours, April? They love to pay to see us. I don't know your question. Write it again, April. Okay. I don't know if this is it.
I couldn't keep up, so I quit the stage acting. Is that what you?
I don't know if that's what she asked. Write it again, April.
Yes, sir. You do. I couldn't keep up the front, so I quit the stage acting. She said no.
She said go up, Mo. Oh, said no. Seems like I ain't writing it again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no is meaning like no. That's not the question that she asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, boy, man, we bad at this. He asks, how can we support one another? Support one another as in like a community, support one another as in like following each other. I mean, supporting one another is, if I while you're rewriting the question, I'm going to, the Black image. How can we support one another? Black image. The best way that I can kind of explain this, and I don't know if this is just my 2 cents. Everybody's different, and if you have a different viewpoint, you can go ahead and say it. Black image and entertainment. So I post all the time about a show or what I'm doing, and a lot of people don't show up. I got 32,000 followers, and if I say I got a show, maybe like 3, 4, 5 may come, and most times they're white. Like I got like maybe one black person that might come and see a show, but a lot of black people are like, because and one thing it is for a lot of people of color, I don't want to just say black people, is they're thinking about the 2-drink minimum at the club, and you got to pay for parking, and you got to pay $25 for a ticket, and it can get pricey. And one thing that we never necessarily had the luxury of, and one thing that we even talk about this in real estate, is that we don't have a lot of disposable income a lot of the times, because we're trying to get by. We got to take care of these kids. We got to do this. So you going out for $100 night is like, you're like, I'm only spending this $100 on a Kevin Hart. I'm only spending this $100 to go see some of these people. So if you can't come to a show, then just maybe shout it out, make comments on the post, or give us our likes and stuff like that, because those people are looking at that. Hollywood looks at that. I had a meeting and people was like, "Oh, Willie, if you had 20,000 extra followers, you could open up some more doors." And people are so busy thinking about their numbers. They're like, "Oh, I'm already following 500. I can't be out here following just everybody." It's like, help us out. Follow me. Add those followers. Shout. If I have a joke, share the joke. Or Mo, whoever. That's one way that you can support. And just like, if it's not financially, retweeting, reposting, like you do anything else, those are huge things that is very valuable for us. How can we take back our image? White people sell our creativity everywhere. How can we take that back for ourselves? Well, taking back our image, I mean, they never necessarily, that's such a weird question. Not a weird question. I'm trying to figure out the right answer for this question. Because they don't necessarily have our image. But I understand exactly what you're saying. The way that we kind of take back and do this creativity thing is if we work together, we band together. It's kind of like what some music artists do. Like Drake is always on a newer rapper's album, because he knows that next person is gonna blow up, and so now you are doing this. Some people are like, "No, I'm only working with XYZ. I'm gonna stay true to the game," or whatever, blah blah blah. But it will take some infiltrating. This is not something that's going to be done in the next 5-10 years. Us working on our image and us like taking back everything, or your version of what you're saying, taking back. Like, I'm now on HGTV, which was predominantly not black at all, not even black shows on there or whatever. So now I'm on there. So instead of just following, tell other people, like, "Oh, y'all know Willie Macc's about to be on this. He was on XYZ. Help you." Like I said, it doesn't have to be financial. And that's what a lot of non-black people, white Caucasians, do. They shout each other out all the time. They're always supporting each other's projects. They know each other's name. "Oh, I'm watching a film with XYZ. You all should watch it. I would suggest it." And it's just a lot of that. And over time, when they start seeing the numbers, because there's power in numbers, and we all know that. And the more power that we have, the more conversations we can have, and just with that, we can go to meetings and we can start saying no to certain things that's in these contracts, and start saying no to some of these roles, because it's like, if you want me, I'm coming with 1 million followers. I'm coming with 2 million XYZ. And so now they're the ones who are like, well, they might be like, "No, Willie, you can't do this." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm out the door." They're like, "Oh, Willie has the numbers. Willie has this power. So let's bring them back in," and they're the ones that have to compromise. So yeah, Willie Macc, do you think stand-up in Hollywood is dying out and being revived on YouTube instead. No, I don't think stand-up is dying out in Hollywood. I see why you're saying that, because now it's at one point in time as a comedian, being on late night, having a Showtime special or HBO special that was it. Like if you got on late night, you could tour the whole world. You got your HBO special, boom. Netflix is the same way. There's still some comedians I haven't even watched on Netflix yet. And so it's not dying out. YouTube is helping out a lot, actually, because YouTube, and not just YouTube, but even TikTok and Instagram. Like I got 390,000 followers on TikTok just posting stand-up clips of me doing stand-up. So there's what is cool about these social media sites and YouTube is it's giving us a place to put our voice and not have to worry about these production companies and you have to have so many followers in order to get your special out. We can shoot our special right now. Me and Mo can do a stand-up special right now on StreamYard and post it on YouTube. We both put $100 on promotions, and then it starts to take off and we can change our lives and our career. And that's where you all will come in and repost it. Y'all check this out and go from there.
Yeah, you got to show that support, man. You got to show that support before it blows up. You know, 'cause people like supporting, you know, Kevin Hart now, but how many people are supporting him before he became a star? And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. Show that support now.
Yeah, support now.
All right. Let me see.
Did we get him?
You said, what April said, I swear people on YouTube are funnier than the new comedians in Hollywood. Don't get black men talk asleep. Yeah, YouTube, YouTubers are not doing stand-up. That's the thing. Stand-up's a entirely different thing. Mm-hmm. You know, with YouTube, you know, you got the script going and it's just not as much like a setup. It is a setup, but it's just more scripted in the sense, in the editing, and you can do different scenes, so it can hit you different. What's your take on that, Willie?
Yeah, a lot of these YouTube quote unquote comedians, the ones that we've never seen at an open mic, is now just like getting a lot of shows, and now people are like, is this what stand-up is nowadays? It's like, no, he don't speak for all of us real comedians that have been out here grinding it out, because everybody knows that, once again, what I was saying earlier, there's power in numbers, and people are like, oh, he got 1 million followers on it, so we bring him to the club and he shouts us out, now all these people are coming or whatever, blah blah blah. So a lot of those comedians, like Mo was saying, they are editing, and they'll re-look at it with their friends, like, how did this sound? Did this look okay? And you know, a lot of their friends on some of these comedians who are comedians on YouTube or socialites or whatever are only getting the thumbs up from their friends because their friends don't want to really maybe tell them the truth. Like they don't have somebody telling them like, hey, yo, that joke is garbage. Like that's what we used to do at Marty's. We didn't go as far as say garbage, but we'd be like, hey, listen, hey, here's what you need. Here's how we do this. And we're going to grind this out. We're going to work with this with each other. And we're going to get in front of 3 people. We're going to get in front of 300 people. We're going to get in front of 3,000 people. There might not be people there at all. And so it's a different type of grind. I wouldn't even call them comedians. They're just people on YouTube doing entertaining things.
Yeah, and with stand-up comedy, you know, instantly if it's not funny, if people, they're not always booing you, like you said, but they'll be quiet. All of a sudden, you know, it's quiet. It's like, oh, you gotta really, you know, dig in deep and find out like who you are during those quiet moments. So there's more at stake. And yeah, that's how it is with stand-up. Let's see, I'm getting a lot of questions. Yeah, you can use there's a lot of funny people on YouTube and IG, man, hilarious.
Oh yeah, I would even recommend for some comedians to put their stuff on YouTube, especially if they're like comics, and you can put. And this is something else that I kind of preach is like I will take some of my videos and maybe once a week. If you can't do once a week, every other week, once a month, put $20 on promotions on one of your videos. Just put $20, $50 or whatever, and just push that video out a little bit more. A couple thousand people might see it, and that's what I did with my property Macc show, the one that I shot and edited. I put $100 on it, maybe every month, like once a month, and eventually got in front of the right people, and boom, boom, boom.
Yep, you got to put your stuff out there, and there's a lot of comedians, stand-up comedians, that are not embracing the new technology. You know, you got to put your stuff on YouTube. I mean, it's a different game. It's not like it was before, like even like 2007. It's entirely different game. So you got to do stand up. Then you need to embrace social media because a lot more people know me from doing these remixes than I ever got known for doing stand up. So this social media is a benefit.
Yeah,
it's very good. Yep, supporting each other. Yeah. So yeah, that's all the questions we got, man. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up and let me look. All right. Yeah, that's it, Willie. All right, man. I gotta bring you back on here again, man. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk it out, y'all. Hey, thank you all so much for talking to me, chatting it up, and all that other stuff. Wanted to pop in and chat, show some love. More remixes coming home. Y'all take care of yourselves.
All right, man. It's been good. All right, guys. That was I like the interview, man. I met Willie Macc on the scene. For all the people that are just jumping in, I met him on the scene when I started doing comedy. Man, he's a cool guy, man. Cool cat, man. Cool guy, and he's in a lot of stuff. So all those commercials that you guys are seeing, he's in most of those commercials. And you never know, man. I met a lot of people out here before they broke out, before they became, big names. Like I said, I met Tiffany Haddish, but I didn't know who she was. I had no idea who I was talking to. I was talking to her, and I had no idea this was her. So you just never know who you're talking to out here, and it's a great experience. You got to know how to maneuver. It's a game out here. A lot of people say, the industry is fake. Yes, it is. It's definitely fake. So you got to know how to maneuver around this fake industry. You got to know how to play the game. Don't sacrifice yourself. See, I'm not willing to sell my soul, but I do know that there's a game that you need to learn how to play. So just letting you know about that. He says it. Man, maybe I should have had him on here for that. Is it true that commercials pay well? Commercials pay very well. Commercials pay very well. Thank you, Mo, Willie Mack, and Mods. Yeah. Yeah, I would have him longer, but I gotta wrap it up. I gotta wrap this thing up. I got some stuff I gotta do. I gotta work on some things. But yeah, commercials do pay well. Yeah, and he's doing a smart thing with his money, reinvesting in it, flipping homes. As you can see, he shot his own pilot, and now he's gonna get a TV show. And y'all seen the link. Queen Regina was sharing the link right there. So I'm gonna, before I end this, I'm gonna show y'all the link. So follow the link to his TV show right there. Yeah, follow that. Look at the IG. So follow that IG handle right there. Read some more of these comments. Yeah, support good in our community, not bad. That's how get Black Wall Street back. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there's IG right there. If y'all want to support, that's how you can support right there. So there it is right there. Yeah. Thanks everyone. This was a great interview. Yes, it was. And I love the people I have in here. I got my diehards in here. And I'm working on a remix right now. What's her name? Ash Carroll. Yeah, I'm working on that remix that you recommended. The dog. I'm one of those dog niggas. I'm one of those dog niggas. So I got the beat. I finally got the right beat that I like on it. I didn't like the beat at first, so I had to switch up the beat. So that one's gonna come next. And yeah, it's gonna be that one. Or unless some other video comes out and I gotta stop making that one to work on another one. This is gonna be the next one. All right, guys, that's it. Follow Willie Mack right there, his IG. And I am out.